Welcome back to Milk and Whiskey. We're going to get a tall glass of recovery and a shot of humor as she's laughing.
Milk and whiskey.
Yeah, Milk and Whiskey. You know why it's
I
Milk and Whiskey.
do. I do.
Yeah. And I have my friend Natalie here. So, Natalie, I guess, so what I've been doing lately is,
hmm
you told your story before, right?
Like the whole thing, or just, I mean, like, yeah, I have done my story before. I like usually went to my anniversary.
Oh, okay. You've never like done like a speaker type of thing?
Like, I mean, I guess I am the speaker when it's my anniversary and I share my story.
Yeah, but like what parts of your story do you share during your anniversary?
As the years progress, it definitely becomes more solution based than like the how and why. Or I guess the why.
Yeah. So,
So it's whatever you want to do. I
well,
don't mind.
like in how it works is like what it was like,
What we were like
what
now.
happened. No,
Yeah.
what happened and what we're like now. So,
Yeah.
like, I like to know from your perspective.
How, what, and why?
Yeah, I would say, are you an alcoholic or a drug addict or
Both, but mostly it was drugs. But
when did you start?
um when did I start using alcoholically or
No, when did you first start anything? Like, when was the first time you tried anything?
13?
Okay, and what was it?
So it was weed and alcohol when I was 13. So I'll preface this by saying 13 was a crazy year for me, as young as that is, looking back. You know, I grew up in Celebration, which is the Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
this
were.
is where all the rich whites.
Yes, but,
I mean, there's a little bit more diversity now, right?
yeah, but, all the parks close at dusk, like, there isn't really a place for kids to, like, hang out, and when I was 13, that's when my dad went to rehab, actually.
Ah.
Yeah, so he left.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah, so and then that was, like, just after I turned 13, you know and at the time, I was pretty heavily involved, like, in gymnastics, and I just remembered, like, I wanted to have more of a social life,
Mm.
but I don't know. But, yeah, so towards the end of being 13 is when I smoked weed and drank for the first time, um, and it wasn't, like, a regular thing until I was, like, 14. The summer before going into high school, I had a group of friends and we were all about the same way. Um, I didn't even get my first kiss till I was 13, but then I also
What
that
do you
was
mean?
yeah,
I mean, like, what is it? Like, you say I didn't even get it to my first kiss until I was 13.
yeah.
Were you supposed to get one when you were younger,
No,
or
like it just like it's crazy to think that like the year I was 13 was like the first time I had my first kiss, tried pot, drank alcohol, and then at the end I actually ended up having sex, which looking back was not consensual in any way because he was 19.
what?
Yes.
Uh,
So there's a story behind that one too. But, my friends definitely ostracized me.
so what do you mean, Asha? What's that mean?
It means like I basically was like the black sheep. Like they didn't want to hang out with
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah,
How
you
what's that word?
ostracized.
Ostracized.
Like you're
Mm.
on the fringes, like you're on the
Oh,
outs.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like, I guess being in recovery or before we get into recovery, we are ostracized by society, like, we're labeled and
Mm.
yeah.
Where'd you hear that word? I'm just kidding. But
I don't know, but, yeah, and then when I was 14, I got into a relationship with a guy who was 4 years older than me, and that is when I
it was 18,
yes.
so you just liked older guys.
I was young, and my dad was, like,
I'm
out
just
of
joking.
the house, and, like, I was
He's
left to my
like
own devices, like, I was seeking
yeah, 14-year-olds at your age, you're like, "Man, these guys are lame."
I don't he's the town drug dealer.
Well, yeah, of course, you gotta make sure you got if you're a drug addict, you gotta make sure you got that on deck, so
I wasn't using alcoholically at the time.
yeah,
It wasn't until I was, like, 17.
yeah.
Um,
So, just so before we continue, alright, you're open to sharing anything.
yeah,
Whatever you're not open to sharing, don't share it
yeah,
because I'm not gonna edit it,
okay,
okay? And if you don't wanna say or mention anybody's names, don't. This
yeah,
guy, this girl, whatever. I just had to kind of disclose that because some people want me to edit and, you know, they forget that this is more of like a raw, I'm not editing anything out,
yeah.
so yeah, just so everybody knows. But yeah, so 14, you got into a relationship, but you started doing drugs and alcohol, you just smoked or just
So
pot?
so it was just, like, weed and alcohol, but it was, like,
Did you try coke at all at that age?
at 14, yes, and
Yeah.
then ecstasy and Xanax,
Ah.
yes, and,
Do you feel like what they said was true is, like, how pot was a gateway to other things, or
um,
because I know people who don't do anything else other than smoke weed, who started that.
I think for me, because we were young and we were in a town that there wasn't much to do, like a place to go for kids at night that was healthy besides, like, youth group, um
I wonder, are there towns that have that? I'm just now that you say that, I think about it, I'm like, yeah, there aren't much things other than, like, you know
I think it depends on, so, like, for us, like, what we would do is we would go to downtown Disney, which is now Disney Springs,
Yeah.
but we would go there, our parents would drop us off, and we'd just, like,
Yeah, I used to
okay,
do that too, but I would
yeah.
ride my bike there from here, Kissimmee, because I lived on Oak Street. So I would ride my bike all the way there.
Yeah, I don't think all of us had bikes nor thought of that, I don't know.
Yeah.
We did do a lot of walking, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
It is a long ride for a bike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking back, yeah, that would be even now, it is.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I was committed to hang out.
Like, I mean, like, we were okay, like, hanging out in the parks, but there would be people who would come and kick us out,
For real?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah,
What would you guys be doing?
just hanging out at the park. I don't know, like,
What
being
because
on the swings or talking,
as long as you're like walking around, what are they how can they never kicked us out?
we'd, like, sit on the bench or I
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
yeah. And then they made it so you can't, like, skate downtown Celebration, they put things up, and it was just
Uh,
yeah, it definitely wasn't teenager friendly, I
oh,
would say.
you're saying celebration, what they would kick you out of celebration.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they never kicked us out of downtown Disney.
No, the parks and Celebration.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Or even, like, going to the pool. Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, I mean, when you're like in a prissy white neighborhood, you you don't want these hooligans hanging out if although you guys all live there.
I mean, I don't know, but
It's like, "Go hang out in the back of your mansion."
I mean, I don't know, it was just we were teenagers, who knows, but I know, like, alcohol was not really a part of, like, high school. Like, yeah, I tried it. Like, I would steal, like, my parents, replace it with water, the whole
Yeah,
9
yeah, I've done
yards.
that too.
Yeah, but it was just easier for us to get drugs than alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, very like, too easy.
Yeah, it was way too easy for me too. And that I never thought of like, I mean, the drugs are everywhere, but I never thought it'd be that easier in celebration.
No, well, I mean, it's like all the moms who are prescribed stuff
Oh,
or
yeah.
yeah, so the crazy thing about, like, the first guy I dated, yeah, he was the town drug dealer. I will say, oh, this is gonna sound weird, but he kinda taught me how to do it
What?
in a
Smoke
safe
weed
way,
or
like I shouldn't combine, like, certain drugs
oh,
and
it's like
alcohol, like, it
he made
was
sure you did drugs responsibly.
as responsible in a way,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like
yeah. In a way, I mean, I get it. Like, they're like, "Just don't take more than 6." Like,
no, it wasn't even like that, it was just like, it I don't know how to explain
yeah,
it.
don't mix uppers with downers, don't, like
Yeah,
yeah, like, don't that's a
essentially.
speedball, you know?
Like,
Don't become a real drug addict.
don't mix alcohol and ecstasy, like
Yeah, yeah, you don't wanna sleeping pills and alcohol together. Like, that'll you know
yeah, so but the one drug he never let me try was blues.
oh, okay. I never tried it, heard about it. The Roxy's, right?
Yeah. So, we broke up right before I turned 17, and looking back,
And he's 21 at this time too, right?
he had, like, just turned 21.
Yeah,
Yeah, or was about to,
yeah,
but
that's crazy.
yeah, so I didn't really wanna break up with him, but I knew one of us was gonna die at some point because he was pretty abusive,
Mm.
like, emotionally, physically, mentally, and, like, I didn't understand what that even meant at the time. I guess he's growing
What
up.
would he do abusively? Like, I mean, like, physically, I would say, because emotionally, I know it's probably manipulating or whatever.
He isolated me from my friends and family. Um,
Physically.
physically, so there was one night we got in this big argument, and I went to sleep in his parents' guest room because he was living at home. So I slept in his parents' guest room, and I was trying to sleep, and he came in, and he got on top of me, and he started choking me, telling me he was going to kill me.
Just for no reason.
Whatever
He was tweaking.
it was my fault in some capacity.
Was he
Um,
messing around?
no, he didn't really do that. I'll never forget, I was 15, he got in a fight with his parents, and he was sober, like, we had just woken up sober, and he takes a steak knife, slices his arm 4 times, and then stabs himself in the stomach.
He lived?
Yeah, he lived, he went to Park Place for, like, a week.
How big was this knife?
It was a steak knife, so, like,
He, like, stabbed himself in the stomach?
yeah,
Yeah, that's nuts.
yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that
Did he
happened.
see, like, that movie, Scream? Like you I would just re I remember whenever they were like, "Hold on, wait."
He just had no hesitation, just, like, and I was like, "What the"
And you stayed with him too after that?
it was my first relationship. I was, like, a year
Damn.
in. Well, this was also, like, a really bad time because, like, he had started cheating on me, and then, with this girl named Gabby, who I actually had classes with her in high school, and I would, like, talk to her about my relationship with him, and
Mm,
she ended up being but, you know, that was a really terrible summer for me, but the fucked up thing was, we went to his friend's house. He gave me a K-Pen because I was pretty depressed, and then I drank. I was like, "Fuck it." I
Klonopin, right?
yeah,
Okay.
Klonopin. blacked out, like, don't remember anything, and he told me, like, I had made out with his friend in front of him. That
That
actually
you did.
yeah, that I did because he
Uh,
was cheating on me, so he thought
uh,
turns out 6 months I believed that, it wasn't even true.
oh, wow. So he manipulated you so he can cheat, basically.
Pretty just so we
Okay,
were
justify
even.
oh, so he can justify his cheating on you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
It's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
but you made out with my friend, so I mm, what
it
did this?"
it was
Okay.
just it was mayhem, but so because I didn't understand what an abusive relationship was, and so, like, it's like addiction, it's the you have the cycle, it's like
Yeah.
the highs and lows, like, he'll be really, like, sweet and loving and affectionate, and then it will just circle back to, "This is all your fault," like, belittling me in front of his friends, like, just
So at what point did it start to turn for the worse with, like, drugs? Because this went on, like, you you guys broke up at 17, right?
yeah, so it was, like, the summer before was a senior, he had gotten arrested,
Mm,
and he was in there for, like, a month, and I had made some friends, and so I was like, "Okay, this might be my only chance to try and get away from him."
mm,
So that summer, like, I'd broken up with him when he was in jail, and, my
so
friend was
romantic.
yeah, my friend was like, "Here, try this, it'll make you feel
What
better."
was it?
Those blues.
Ah, okay.
One drug he never let me try, and as soon as I did it, I was like
Did he have it?
yeah, he
He
had it
used to take it?
yeah, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course. I'm not gonna share with you the drug I like the most.
Yeah, he used to do it. He used to always get it, do it, and then just be like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah. I should I did that with my baby mom. She was like she wanted to try crack, and I was like, "No, you don't wanna try this. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy." And I'm like, secretly, it was because I don't wanna share with you later.
I mean, I don't
Like,
know.
we can't both be hooked on this thing.
I don't know if he was I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at younger ages, it's not as bad as or as, um, severe
No.
as it gets progressively throughout our lives, right? So
Yeah, so, like, cause I was 17 and I'd just broken up with him, and, like, I cried almost every single day. Like, I didn't wanna break up with him, but I also knew, like, one of us will end up dying
mm,
if I stay with him.
and then after you tried the blues, you s did you ever try heroin at all, or
Eventually, yeah, so blues was
I know it was like that's like the synthetic form of heroin, right? Or is like a substitute?
it's, like, pharmaceutical grade.
Okay.
So, cause this was what, 2011? So they were still pretty cheap back then, but, so as soon as I tried it, I was like, "Oh my god, like, I don't have to feel anything anymore." Like, all these emotions that I was feeling, I was just like, "I can just do anything," because it numbs your emotional pain. Um,
Yeah.
and so I did it on and off. I didn't do it, like, alcoholically, but all my friends did.
Mm.
They all and then pretty much it had escalated into them, like, shooting dope, and I was still like, "No."
You never shot it?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But at the time, I was just like, "Nope." I remember I came home my sister was doing it too at the time, so I came home, I went
You
over
were, like, disgusted at those? You're like, "I'm gonna sniff mine."
pretty pretty much.
Like,
Yeah, so
"Shoot it up? Ew." Let me just
yeah.
make me a little line over
Yeah, I was on a high horse, cause like, I still took school seriously at the
Mhm.
time. I separated school and then outside of school.
Yeah.
And,
You were capable of doing that then, right?
yes, at
Yeah.
that time. I just remember coming home from school and I go in my closet and my sister's shooting up. And she was 15 at the time. And I'm like
She's older than you?
younger.
Oh, wow.
So I
So
was,
she was like
yeah.
your younger sister started shooting it before you did.
Yep.
Damn.
So this guy in our friend group, he was like twice her age, but basically we had found out that he had been robbing my mom, like stealing all her stuff, pawning all her jewelry, um, while getting my sister like doped up. So she
And
wouldn't.
your mom never found out?
We found out. So it was like before prom, it was my senior prom.
Yeah.
She went in her closet to find the jewelry and she was like, "Where the fuck is everything?" And that's when we kind of like slowly pieced everything together.
Did he ever get in trouble for it?
I think he's in jail. My mom never recovered her jewelry. She went to some of the pawn shops nearby and she found some stuff, but they said she could either buy it back or wait till he's been charged. Like actually like
Been charged for the stuff that he
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that took years and then my poor mom is now dealing with well, my dad had at this point left the house when he got sober, kind of fucked off, started a new family. And then I went to college and that
So your dad left to go start a new family?
well, I mean, he left to get sober, but he didn't I just remember when I was 16, um, my dad came over to my ex's house and he sat me down and just basically said, "Me and your mom are getting divorced. She doesn't want to work it out."
Mm. And then what
So,
happened?
and then I cried for hours, and my ex told me to suck it up.
And then but
And then they
so
got divorced.
they got divorced and but you say your dad left to go start a new family, like, what, he had another wife lined up?
So I was 16 when they like officially got divorced, and then he had remarried by the time I was 19.
Okay, so it wasn't, like, right after.
No,
'Cause you
but
'cause you the way you said it sounded like, yeah, my dad like, abandoned us and basically started a whole new family right after.
there is a lot of hi. So here's the thing is that I found crushing the texts on my dad's phone when I was like 14. Because he started going to meetings in celebration. All my friends you were out in the open. It wasn't like
Yeah.
indoors at the time. And so all my friends would be like, "Hey, like your dad's seeing this new girl."
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
And they would
it's a
tell
small
me.
community of
It's a
people, right?
very small community.
Yeah.
So but that's neither here nor
There's a saying for that in Spanish. It's, pueblo pequeño, infierno grande. That means small village, big hell,
yeah.
because everybody knows your, uh, your business.
Yeah. So like we knew about it before he told us.
Mm.
So, my mom
But how does him being in a new relationship affect you? Because, like, that's his relationship with someone.
oh, he didn't even really
It
try to
affected it affected your guys' his new relationship affected you guys' relationship?
he didn't really try to have a relationship with us.
Mm,
So, um, I know like I know part of his story, like the first 2 years were rough, but even I was a teenager, like I needed my dad.
yeah,
My mom had to go back to working and taking care of 2 kids by herself,
yeah.
and my dad not I didn't even care financially, like, that was besides the
You
point.
needed him to just be there.
Yeah, I needed Yeah.
guidance and
A
somewhat.
father,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
he didn't provide any of that.
no. So,
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot more to that story, but
I mean, there's a whole. I mean, we can go as deep as you want. You know.
yeah, that's, like, with time, like, as my progression, like, you'll kinda see. So, like, my dad not being there, I definitely saw it, and my mom didn't have time, like, growing up, like, I was the older kid, like, my sister was the problem child growing up, and so, like, because I was such a good kid,
You guys were both doing drugs though, and she's the problem child.
Okay, growing up, I was
Like,
very
we're all addicted to drugs, but she's the problem.
my sister just I guess, even when my dad got sober, he basically said, "My sister has the tendencies of an alcoholic."
But not you.
So they no, so they focused on her.
Ah, okay.
I always say she didn't grow out of her terrible twos until she was 18.
Mm. She's the youngest too, right?
Yeah,
There's no other, just you 2.
yeah.
Okay.
So, so even I was just basically left to my own devices because I wasn't going through problems that
Isn't
were
that the best for us
obvious.
though? Like, when we're left to our own devices, like, we have no guidance and isolation, and we can just do whatever we want. At that
Yeah,
time, yeah, I mean, it feels like the best, don't it?
I don't think they realized that, but pretty much. So, like, I saw love in other ways that wasn't healthy, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, like
There are
men
yeah,
that are, like,
yep,
5 years older than you
yeah,
and drugs.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So, yeah. Um, then I went to college and I was just very depressed. I would try and study. I would fall asleep for like 6 hours. I just could not handle I guess because I was too young to fully understand what I went through with that first relationship, it wasn't really until, like, I took a criminal justice class and they did a seminar on, like, abusive relationships,
Mm.
and
You're like, "Oh,
I'm like, "Oh."
you got a master's in that."
I ran out crying.
Oh, okay.
I was
Sorry.
not I mean, it is what it
Yeah.
is, like, I
Yeah, because it hit home too hard, right?
yeah, because I didn't fully understand it or why I was feeling the way I was or, like, other things. It, like, had kinda started to, like, make sense. Um, did I go and see a therapist? No.
Never.
I did eventually. I think I didn't want
Not in recovery, I'm talking about, did you ever before? Okay.
yeah, so we didn't really have the money at the time, because even with, like, my scholarship with college, like, I still had to work. My mom still struggled, but she did the best that she could. Um,
How much do therapists charge an hour?
I don't know, depending on health insurance, it covers it. I think, like, Obamacare made it so it did had to cover it,
Hmm.
but I think I was more afraid, like, I just remember trauma dumping with the friends I had made, and they did not know how to handle all these things. And meanwhile, like, they're trying drugs for the first time,
I'm
and
looking
I'm
up
like,
I'm looking up how much do they make.
yeah,
Oh,
I definitely
definitely what?
like, especially like my first year, like I basically failed out, but I also didn't want to go admit all these issues, because then it would be real.
You know what I don't understand?
I
Like,
just pretended.
I just, like, looked this up, I'm like, and it's, like, kind of I guess it doesn't work in my favor because I'm a tattoo artist. You know how people, like, they go into, like, "Oh, ink therapy," and, like, why go see a therapist when I can go see my I mean, I get it because, like, we kind of when you go to the right person, they can
Really,
mm,
yeah. So I'd been to like a couple counselors before and did not.
and I'm saying, like, when you go to the right artist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the right artist
exact.
like
That's why I say like,
and then, like, look, it says, like, 75 to 200 per session, right?
but it's like shopping for. I always say it's like shopping for a tattoo artist. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
not everyone works for you
yeah.
or gels with you.
But I'm just thinking, I'm like, if we do depending on the session, it could be even more than that, but then you get to take home like, you get to look back at your art and remember those things. I think
Yeah,
it probably is better because it actually whenever it's in your skin, you can like, go back to that moment and remember those conversations. I can do that with every single one of my tattoos.
yeah. I mean, it's been so long. I try to like a lot of counselors I saw. I remember this one specifically. She was just like, "But what's your problem now?" And I was like, "Well, these issues that I had gone through that were very traumatic are still affecting me today." And she was like, "But what are you facing now?" And I'm like,
Like,
"I'm depressed. I can't get out of bed. I can barely like do anything. And the only way for me to like slightly function was by doing oxys."
yeah.
I definitely
You need to definitely, like God.
a psychiatrist.
No, you needed no, the psychiatrist prescribes you drugs.
Yeah, but I was so like I ended like from that relationship alone, I ended up having PTSD,
Mm,
anxiety, and depression. I still have anxiety and depression to this day. That whole thing had rewired my brain in such a way that
yeah.
it definitely contributed.
Have you looked at anxiety and depression, and are you open to looking at it in a different way? I mean, obviously, I'm not a psychiatrist or a therapist or I don't have any medical degrees, right?
Let the
But
record show.
just so you know, I am a crackhead, but I have dealt with the same exact things, right? And I view anxiety as just an immense fear, right? And fear of like trying to control, right? Because when you can't control certain situations, you panic. And like it can look in a physical form. Some people have different symptoms, and the anxiety is a part of the symptom, right? Anxiety is like your heart racing and sweating or whatever and hyperventilating and stuff. And I've felt those things before. And and I look back at those moments, and it was always when I didn't have full control, or at least an illusion of control of a certain situation, right?
Well, the anxiety is pretty much like dissipated. Like it will still crop up every now and again, but it's manageable. But
Why?
that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you say because of the steps?
Why? Oh, I guess we can get to that point, like, towards because that's, like, more towards the end of my
Yeah, yeah.
or
They
beginning
let's
of this journey.
yeah,
So
sorry. Let's go so from at what age were you at this point?
so I would be my freshman year, I just turned 18, got in a relationship, of course, was with him for 2 years, and, at this like, I still was not using alcoholically, like, I would still do it, like,
Yeah.
once a week or once a month or whatever. But I was still not able to cope with life in any capacity. Um,
Nothing was working. Not the relationship, not the drugs. Alcohol wasn't working.
no.
Studying wasn't working. Therapists weren't working.
I didn't fully try a therapist, like, I kind of just I don't know. I didn't want it to be, like, real.
Yeah. I mean, well, at the moment, it wasn't working, right? It just wasn't working because you whether it was you weren't giving it a shot, it wasn't working because it wasn't what you needed at the time.
I think I was okay self-medicating because it wasn't, like, what my friends were doing. Like, cause at
Shooting,
this yeah, at
yeah.
this point, like, my friends, some of them were already going to rehab, some were getting arrested, some were already, like, kicking in doors. Like, I was still in
Mm,
college, I had a job, I had my own place, but, like, internally, I was not okay. And it was just, like, a day at a time, I couldn't even I was always either, like, living in the past or living in the future. Like, I wasn't present at all.
uh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, and then so I basically I knew the relationship was not working. I was like, I love him, but I was like, I need to make myself happy. Like, I had enough awareness to know that, like, I needed to try and do it by myself. Did I know what at the time? No. So, broke up with him, transferred schools, went to FSU,
yeah.
started drinking. A little alcoholically at the time, but not just, like, normal college, I guess, and then my friend from freshman year, he had also transferred there, so, like, I had a friend already, so we were hanging out, and I just remember, like, one night we got really drunk. He fell asleep on the couch, so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take his bed
Mhm.
'cause where am I gonna"
Yeah,
I guess I could have gone home, but I
yeah,
will.
like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, like, he's asleep on the couch, like, I'll be okay in his bed." Woke up, stuff was already happening,
What
and
stuff?
sexual stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. I
I
mean,
I woke up to things already happening, and I was
uh,
like, "Okay," like
to you?
yeah, to me.
Oh, okay, that's why I just didn't understand.
Yeah, so didn't know how to handle that.
So you basically passed out and woke up with things happening to you,
Yeah,
with you unconscious.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, didn't know how to handle that.
Yeah. Basically being raped.
I mean, it is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but because I had already had, like, a prior physical relationship with him years before, no one really they were like, "Oh, well, like, how much did you drink?" Or, like,
yeah.
"Why didn't you say no? Why didn't you stop it?" And I'm like
How are you supposed to say no when you're unconscious?
I was like, "I woke up like, what do you" and these were, like, girls saying this to me. And so
Yeah.
I didn't know how to handle it. Um, I started drinking more, and I knew that I needed to see someone or it was gonna get worse.
Yeah, 'cause I just thought to myself, I was thinking like, I mean, in their questioning is like, yeah, you woke up to this and you didn't stop it, but probably what was going through your mind was like, I mean, you were on, were you drinking?
I was drinking, but I think because of my prior relationship with abuse, like,
You allowed it to happen because of it.
I was afraid of the consequences if I said anything or
Uh,
did
so you
anything.
just let it happen.
Once I woke up and was aware, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also, like, my PTSD and trauma coming into play.
Yeah, because it that enabled you to say anything because of the fear of what could have happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, started drinking. My mom came up to visit. I had my first panic attack in front of her, and that is when I, like, broke down and told her what happened. And I saw a counselor, and I knew
And this guy was never made aware?
he was. He knew.
Mm,
He knew. Like, our mutual friend tried to, like get us to become friends again. She, like, had made us
Uh,
go to the same bar and, like, try and reconcile us, and I was like, you know, I
mhm.
just ran.
He knew. So he knew because of that reaction that he messed up.
He had a girlfriend at the time, either
Oh,
way.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that too, but
I was just like, I yeah, emotionally, that was, like, one more nail in the coffin for me, um,
yeah.
and I knew my mental health was gonna deteriorate if I didn't do something about it, and so at the time, like, we didn't have money for me to see a psychiatrist, so I begged my dad and stepmom,
Yeah.
and, at the time, they thought I was med seeking because
You don't
because it's so easy to get drugs from a psychiatrist.
oh, you were just
He thought I was just trying to get drugs from a psychiatrist, and I was like, "Do you know how easy it is to get drugs on this?" Doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah.
So he's like,
They
"I'll."
were just accusing you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He pretty much said that he has conditions, which I was like, "Okay." He said, "I want the transcripts of everything that's said, like, all the drugs and, like, stuff that you've done or do." I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. I agree to that." But the second condition was, um, he basically he wanted the whole, like, transcript. He wanted everything. And
And
I
he wanted to hear, like, the basically everything that you've ever done or everything that's ever happened to you or
said and I knew a lot if I was gonna talk to a psychiatrist, a lot of it was gonna be about him.
yeah. And you didn't wanna I mean, that's kind of why you're seeing a psychiatrist, right? So, like, you can say things in confidential, right? Yeah, so
Yeah, like, I was more than okay, like, telling a psychiatrist, like, the drugs I've done and do or did. Like, I was more than okay with that because, like, I was in such a mental state, like, that I could not function, and I knew I was self-medicating, and I was trying to, like, prevent it from going further, you know?
yeah.
So, I was not comfortable with that, and, I didn't wanna tell my dad the reason why, like, the situation that happened for me to wanna see someone, and I just remember, like, my dad and it was me and my mom, my dad and my stepmom. We were sitting on a bench in a celebration, we were talking well, I was crying, and they were just talking, and because I wasn't okay with, like, the last condition of, like, him knowing everything I would say. So, I just remember, like, my stepmom, she sat down next to me and she's like, "Sweetie, like, I know you were raped. It's because of your drinking. Your panic attacks are from your drinking too." I looked at her and I was like, "What the fuck?" I left. I
Yeah,
was like, I was like, "Obviously, this is not gonna work out."
yeah.
Um, my mom heard her say it. My dad, to this day, still believes she never said that. Um, but I just remember that kind of fueled.
Yeah, like, if it's something that rings bells and echoes in your life, obviously something that you remembered, whether she remembers it or not, doesn't mean it's not true, right?
Yeah, I guess honestly, like, the year after that happened is when I really started, like, drinking alcoholically. Because
Mm,
when I was in college, like, I couldn't find opiates, so I drank.
yeah.
I drank I started drinking every day. I started day drinking on my days off. I had made friends with people who were drinking like me too, or so I thought.
And you were how old at
Now I was, like, 21.
okay.
So and it was just barely getting through school, barely being there, just I self-destructed, essentially. And it got to a breaking point where, like, I was very suicidal at the time, and I went home. I was like, "I need a break." So I went back to doing the stuff I was doing. Um,
Then you started shooting up?
no, it wasn't
When
until
did you start shooting up?
it was after my first rehab, so
Okay,
2020.
okay. So, like,
So from 2011 to 2020, almost 9 years,
you didn't shoot up.
I did not shoot
You
up,
were just, like,
no.
reluctant. I'm sniffing my shit.
No, but I had started doing heroin because it was cheaper and more
Yeah.
affordable, and
Yeah, you were sniffing it, though.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
sniffing it,
you
yeah.
weren't yeah, so, like, this back and forth with between, like, struggling with depression and drugs and all that happened for about 10 years before you
I still struggle with depression,
no, I'm just
but
saying
yeah,
before
yeah,
yeah, I mean, obviously, like, was people who
yeah,
struggle with depression, they might be struggling with the rest of their lives, right? So, may or may not.
yeah.
I'm saying as far as it goes, like, this this struggle, this battle between, like, what was wrong, what's going on, and, like, how can I get help, and how you seeking help, and you trying, and then not working out. Like, you tried the relationship, you tried different drugs, you
I tried
tried
multiple relationships.
multiple relationships, just kept crossing off guy
Yeah.
after guy, drug after drug.
Well,
Um,
I only drank alcoholically, 1, because I couldn't get what I really wanted, and 2, I had learned that if I drink enough to black out, I'll start to forget the things that had happened to me.
okay.
So,
When I think about when you said drinking alcoholically, right? I'm like, what is the difference between what you were doing whenever you drink versus drinking alcoholically?
I wasn't trying to black out.
Mm.
I was just drinking for fun. I wasn't drinking to run
Were you able to
and
stop?
hide. I was able to stop.
But were you ever able to stop doing drugs at any time? At
I
any
mean, it
point?
wasn't like an everyday thing. It wasn't until, like, after the whole situation, like, with not being able to see a psychiatrist that I started drinking more and more,
Yeah.
and
But
then every
I'm
day.
saying, like, with the drugs though, you stopped at some point with drugs?
I couldn't really get opiates in, Tallahassee,
You
so
smoked weed though?
no. I had stopped
You were a good girl.
I had stopped smoking weed. There's a story about why.
Okay.
That definitely contributed to my, anxiety as well.
But I'm just so trying to wrap this around. So, like, you get to a point where at 21 you started because of the whole thing with your dad and everything. Then you were like,
Fuck this.
"Fuck this! I'm gonna just drink. Like, if I can get opiates wherever I'm at, I'm gonna drink higher to get fucked up, to black out, so I can feel the things that so I don't have to feel those things anymore." Right?
It's so I wouldn't have to remember.
Yeah, I remember. But
Alcohol made me more emotional. I didn't
did
actually
you
like it.
forget anything? I mean, obviously you're talking about it, so you never forgot.
No, but it definitely, because it was at night before I went to bed that I would, like, really start
Um,
thinking about it, and it was just a way to prolong, like, getting up in the day was a little different, but,
you can
at
shut down
night,
faster at night with the drinking. Yeah, okay.
turn my brain off.
Yeah, you're like, all right, time to go to sleep. Let's get blitzed. Let's get blackout drunk.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You ever wake up in a different state?
no, I've woken up in I have not woken
You
up
ever
in a
woken up
different state.
naked?
I've woken up naked. I've woken up in a different room that wasn't even, like, mine,
uh,
or, like, in a house that wasn't even where I
you're
went
like,
to
you
bed.
woke up with some guy, like, what the hell is this guy?
Um, not real no.
No. I mean, I'm just naming things.
Um, definitely woken up outside. I've
That's
definitely
crazy.
I've blacked in.
Like, then what's that? What's the difference?
So, basically, my friends and I, there's this place called Bear Paw near Tallahassee, and it's a river you can, like, tube down for
Mm.
hours, and you can drink on it.
Oh.
So, I got blacked out, like, halfway through the journey, on the river,
Mm.
and I didn't black in, like I didn't, like, come to until, like, in the car right on the way home.
Oh, so blacking in is basically you drank so much to where you black out and then
I
just
don't
keep drinking until you black back in?
honestly, I don't okay, so usually, like, when I black out, like, I go to bed at some point,
Okay.
but I didn't go to bed.
Oh, okay.
I just
Kept going
yeah,
until you came to again.
pretty much.
Oh, so that's blacking in. It's like you drank so much to where you're past the blackout. That's crazy.
I was awake so long,
That's a first for me. I've never
the
heard anybody say that.
the blackout had passed because I hadn't gone to bed.
Okay.
I was, like, halfway through the day.
Yeah, but you don't remember anything.
No. I remembered, like, halfway up until, like, this one point, and then to when I came to in the car, black.
Oh, and then they're like, "Hey," and then they're handing you another drink. You're like, "Wow,
Oh,
what
no.
happened, guys?"
I they told me yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely was crazy on that trip, and they told me and they laughed about it, and anytime they would introduce me, they were like, "This is our crazy friend Natalie." Um, so, like, it was like
Do you ever speak with an English accent whenever you're fucked up? Like, just, like, randomly, "Hello?"
no. No, no, definitely not. But, I mean, it was just years of, like, barely getting through school, trying to, like, do it by myself, but not being able to, like, switching from alcohol to, like, opiates when I went back home to just not really there. Just
Yeah.
trying to fill the void in any way, shape.
So, from at what point? Because I know part of your story, and, at what point did you have, like,
Did it
have your
what?
surgery? Yeah.
Okay, so that was the end of 2020.
Okay.
So, I wanna say 2016, I was, drinking a lot. That summer, I went to the hospital 3 different times.
Mm,
Um, and then the end of that year, I broke my hand for the second time while drinking, needed surgery.
yeah.
And I was like, maybe."
How did you break your hand?
I,
Punch somebody in the face or something?
no, I didn't wanna walk home anymore, so I started running.
Oh.
I shouldn't I
While
I
drinking?
okay, I will preface
He's
this
like,
by
"I'm not gonna walk. I'm just gonna run."
I don't remember how this happened, my friend witnessed it, I just remember all I know is that me and my friend Danny, we had started drinking straight whiskey at 7 p.m., and then we both took a bar, a Xanax,
Yeah.
and then we kept drinking, and then they thought it was a good idea to all go to the club after,
Mm,
and meanwhile, I can barely stand. I shouldn't have even been allowed to get in the club. Do I know why they dragged me with them? No. I
mm.
saw a video and I was like someone was holding me up. I was like, "That's crazy." But, allegedly, when me and Danny were walking home, he said, "I didn't wanna run it I didn't wanna walk anymore, and I started running, tripped and fell, and I broke these 2 knuckles."
Damn,
Yeah, I woke up with my hand like that, and I was like, "Yep, it's broken."
damn.
And then
So then
his
what?
car got towed,
Uh,
so he couldn't drive me to the hospital, so I had to drive myself to the hospital, and this is my right hand, and mind you, my car was standard at the time,
mm,
so I had to shift with my left hand.
damn.
Um,
I can't even imagine how you did that.
I also accidentally
It's like
broke a window. Yeah, okay. So I slightly learned because that summer, I went to the hospital and needed 21 stitches because it was FSU tailgate, and I was drinking at 8 a.m., and I accidentally broke a window on this front door, and yeah, I needed
Mm,
21 stitches right here. So, I was like, "Meh." maybe I should, like, cool down on the drinking. But it was just, like, a joke between my friends, like, it wasn't
Like, "Yeah, Imma stop."
I think 'cause it it was more socially acceptable. It wasn't until, like,
Yeah, it's legal.
yeah, it wasn't until I'd, like, gotten my heart broken and I moved back home that I, like, really started doing opiates again. I just know that, like, I had been drinking so much that, like, kind of the last year of my drinking, I basically dissociated for a whole year. It was like every day I was hungover, and it wasn't unless I, like, had started drinking that I was like, "Okay, this is kind of real life."
Yeah,
Um, and, I stopped drinking, but the anxiety that came with it, I could not cope. I became suicidal again. I locked myself in my room for a week and did heroin, and I knew that if I did it straight for a week, I was gonna become physically dependent, and I was hurting so emotionally that I didn't care.
mm,
And that is what kind of started the year I went to my first rehab, and this would have been 2019.
mm,
So it was like another 3 more years, like, drinking almost every day.
yeah.
Um, yeah, barely getting through
So then
school.
you went to your so at what point did you have to have the surgery?
So, 2019, I went to my first rehab. It was, like, a month after my 25th birthday.
Mm.
Um, and or 26, I don't know. Who
How old are
knows?
you now?
I'm 31.
Okay.
So, I begged my mom to take me to detox. I mean, mind you, like, it had already been 3 days. So when I got there, I pissed clean, so
Yeah,
they couldn't give me subs, but I was like, "Whatever." So she drove me to South Florida. I went to my first rehab. I didn't even think I was going to rehab. I just thought I was going to detox and then I'd go home. No. They were like, "You're going straight to rehab." And,
yeah,
I basically I'd moved to South Florida. I had made it almost 6 months clean. Like, I just remember the first meeting we had been taken to, 'cause it's not like I could stay home, like, they had to take us in the druggy buggy. I had a panic attack because I don't because of, like, the resentment and trauma and everything else, like, my dad and stepmom related, like, I wanted nothing to do with AA. Um, I still had a lot of yets when I went there. I did the rehab romance. But I still got a sponsor and started working the steps. And I'm grateful I'd started doing that because, I met a guy in AA on my 3 months,
mm,
started a relationship, and that was the first time I had a running buddy. And so COVID hit. That was basically my excuse to say fuck it and relapse.
yeah,
Um, and then by that summer, we had started shooting dope. Probably because I had someone to watch me.
yeah,
And then I wanna say maybe 3 months after I started, I went to the hospital. I had pneumonia. They looked at me and said, like I could tell they were stereotyping me. They were like, "You're a junkie," gave me antibiotics and sent me on my way. And then a month and a half, 2 months later, I it it was a weird time because I was now in another codependent relationship where basically, like, I was getting unemployment money, my ex was not, so I'd give him the money, like, he'd go out and cop, he would spend it all on himself, and then he'd spend the next 12 hours trying to make enough money to bring me home something so I wasn't dope sick. So every day, every other day, I was, like, dope sick.
Yeah.
It was miserable, and I just remember
And you trusted him every time.
I didn't really have a choice
Oh,
because I was already in it.
you didn't just
So
go with him? You didn't think of that far.
no, because we didn't really have a car anymore at the time. Yeah, so at this point, we didn't really have a car, um, so he would go do whatever, um, and I just basically stayed in my room
Yeah.
while he did all that, but I just remember it was, like, a week before I went to the hospital. I just remember, like, something did not feel right. Like, anytime he would come home and I would do dope, I would still be dope sick.
Uh,
I didn't know how to explain it, and it was like, looking back, I remembered feeling like I'm dying.
mm,
And so my granddad was dying in the hospital, cancer in Texas, so my mom was out there, and I called my mom, and I was just like, "Something's wrong." And my mom said, "Go to the hospital. Your sister's gonna take you, or I'm gonna call them, and they'll come get you." So I remembered, like, trying to wait until my ex got back so I
yeah.
could cop before going, because I had a feeling that it was gonna be a while before I used again. Um, and so that was just before Thanksgiving in 2020. Um, the first week, I don't remember, like, at all. When I got to the hospital, I was in septic shock. I had pneumonia again. I had endocarditis, which was the reason I had pneumonia, and I had blood clots in my lungs. So I was started on IV antibiotics. They tried to suction out the infection from my heart. They did like a microscopic one where they went in through like the femoral veins down here. Couldn't get all of it out. And after 2 weeks in the hospital, I remember this doctor came in and she said, "You need open heart surgery." And I'm like, "When?" And she said, "Tomorrow at 6 AM." And I just started crying. Um, Also during this
The
time,
doctor said that or just some lady?
no, it was the doctor.
Oh, okay.
She was the one who did it,
'Cause you
but
said the lady, I'm like,
yeah,
you
so,
said some random lady, like, "You need open heart surgery?"
her name was Doctor I can't remember.
Uh,
Bo Bomar? No, something like that.
Bojangle. That's fine.
But I just remember, like, holy fuck. Like, I couldn't fully comprehend or grasp that. Um, I just started crying. Um, and so, yeah, I had open heart surgery the very next day. I was in the ICU for 3 days. And on the 3rd day, they said my heart is not beating normally again,
Mm.
or wasn't. So they had to go back in and put a pacemaker in.
You still got one or no?
Yeah,
You still got a
I
pacemaker?
still have a pacemaker.
I don't see it.
It's down here.
Oh,
Yeah, so, mind you, I was 87 pounds at this time.
uh,
Yeah,
87
I
pounds?
was on death's door.
That's like one of my legs.
Yeah, I was literally on death's door. Now, during this time in the hospital, my ex, my running buddy ex, he also ended up in the hospital with an infection on the same floor as me.
Yeah. So,
Like,
what was the infection of?
it was mine was my heart. I had a heart infection. That's what
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I needed my right heart valve replaced. She said
From the shooting up?
mhm. So,
Oh.
yeah. So, and this is the insanity of my thinking, which is why I know I belong in the rooms, is because basically the doctor said, "If you pick up or use again, you will die." And that sounded like a challenge to me.
Yeah, you're like, "I'll tell you. I'll
I
show you."
I mean, it's just like I remember, like, when my sister went to detox, and she didn't need to go to rehab. She ended up, like, being on subs for 6 months, got off them, and, like,
She never went back?
pretty much no, she never went back.
Mm,
She may or may not be an alcoholic, she does drink a little alcoholically, but, that's not for me to say, that's her
yeah.
own choice to make,
Yeah, we
but
can't diagnose anybody with
no.
ourselves, right?
No, and I just remember, like, I was talking to my dad about it, I was like, like, not everyone is like you, and he was treating both of us, like, before it actually fully happened,
Yeah, like,
but,
how long did it take him for him to stop drinking? How old was he? 50? Like,
mm,
I'm just
maybe a
saying.
little more than 50.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just, like, as a reference, like, bro,
I know.
you you stopped at, like, 55? Like, come on, I mean, some
Yeah,
people are a little bit worse off, probably, I mean, some us getting sober so young is actually even more beneficial for us, and it's more like,
yeah.
I guess.
So this was all happening when my dad got side note, this all started happening, like, my sister went to detox and was, like, trying to come off heroin, like, when he was getting remarried when I was 19, and he basically said, "If you don't do detox for 10 days, I'm canceling your ticket to my wedding." So my sister never went.
Yeah. He's like his sister's like, "I don't care."
She felt really hurt because it was always, like, on his terms, everything was his terms. It wasn't like we were human people, we were just
You
like
were cattle.
yeah, we were just like a statistic or a number, like,
Yeah.
it was like our
No,
stories
you weren't his babies.
or
Like,
were yeah, like,
you know?
it was his way or the highway, and so I saw my family I hadn't seen in a decade, and I was there by myself watching my dad get remarried,
Yeah.
and that was tough for me, and I just remember talking to my dad, I was just like, I might use, but it wasn't like, at the time, it wasn't alcoholically. And he looked at me and he said, "You don't hate yourself enough to be an alcoholic." Challenge accepted. I mean, I can laugh about it to this
Yeah.
day, but I think
I'm
at
like,
at the
why
time,
why not share exactly what it says and more about alcoholism? "Hey, if you have little control over the amount you take, you may be alcoholic."
well, it's like,
That's a very
yeah,
gentle approach, and it's very like, you get to come up with your own conclusion, and you get to
I
go and try
know.
it on your own.
I know, it's like and
Like
even it
like, why
wasn't
not go by the book?
and that is why, like, I was so against AA because it was like it
Because you thought what he said was by the book, and it wasn't?
yeah.
You thought his opinions were AA? That's crazy. That's why I'm like, whenever I go into Park Place, I'm like, "Hey, I like to read the 1940s AA preamble because it says like, hey, whatever we share is our opinion, and actually, if it doesn't coincide with what is in the big book, you can disregard it
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, I
You
know.
are free to agree or disagree as you see fit."
Yeah. And
You know?
it was just like I had wanted a relationship with him, but everything was, like, on his terms. It was
Yeah,
like and there was no leeway, and it's like he was
yeah,
trying to treat me like a child when I was now an adult,
yeah. How old
and
were you? It was like you were
I was
28,
I mean,
27.
when he got remarried, I was 19, but,
No, I'm saying like now, like
now
as a, like whenever you're getting sober, right? Like, cause
I think I just turned 27, so after my almost 2-month hospital stay,
yeah,
because I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, I got out. I was, like, off the drugs for, like, a month. I started going to AA, but not, like, regularly. I would, like, kinda drink, but not really. I still wasn't ready. I
yeah,
still needed more pain. And this is where I circle back to the insanity of my thinking with the doctor saying, "If you pick up again, you're gonna die." I was like, "Okay, well," I was like, "It wasn't the drugs or alcohol that caused what almost killed me. It was how I was doing it.
Yeah,
So if I just snort or smoke it,
yeah.
I'll be okay.
Wow.
That was how I was thinking. That was
Yeah.
the insanity.
And you heard picked up a needle. I'm like, I just won't pick up a needle.
I eventually picked up a needle again,
Oh, yeah.
but, like and that's I still needed, like, 8 more months of that to be like, "Okay, I truly am
So
a
then
fucking alcoholic."
what happened? Like, what was your last day like?
Um, so, basically, my ex came back from copping, and he said, like, "I'll only give you this after we take the bikes up to get this car." He may or may not have not stolen, I don't know. I was not privy to any of the illegal things he did, uh, which was a lot, but, um, he said, I'm gonna give you 1 hit now, and I'll give you this bag when we come back." And so yeah. So I was like, "God
Like a
damn."
little doggy treat?
Yeah.
Like he had a
That
carrot.
that ended up being yeah. It was like that for, like, months.
Mm.
Like, it was on his terms, like
Just like your dad.
yeah. So, I just remember, like, I still was not physically fit from my surgery, so I was definitely a lot slower on a bike than he was, and I just
Yeah,
remember, like
you're like, "I just had open heart surgery, motherfucker." Like, have a scar and shit, you got a fucking tube, you got a fucking all this shit, you're just like he's like,
Right.
"Come on, girl."
Good doggy. So, he went up ahead without me. Thankfully, like, things work out the way they're supposed to, and, I saw all these cop lights at the gas station where we were going.
So thank God he's holding it.
So, I pulled in
Yeah.
to, like, this apartment complex, like, across the street, so, like, I could see them, they couldn't really see me. I guess they knew I was coming, so they were waiting on me. So I hid my stash of paraphernalia and everything else, and I was like, "Okay, let me go up there." And I went up there, and sure enough, he was in the back of the car, and they were questioning me, and the bike that I was on was stolen, and, they could have arrested me for that, but he had made it in a way I'm grateful he had made it to where I was unaware of literally anything he did that was illegal.
Uh,
Um, and so he got arrested again, and I knew he wasn't gonna be out for a few days because he was on probation. And I knew he had made it to where toward at the like, after my hospital visit, he had made it to where, like, I could only cop through him.
mhm,
Like, so he had my phone. Yeah, so I knew that I was gonna start withdrawing
mm.
pretty soon, and I was like, "Okay, this is probably my chance to get sober." So I withdrew, I took, um but I wanted it to be on my terms. So I think I used 2 more times on my terms, and then I took subs for a couple days, and then
So for whenever you say subs, you're talking about Suboxone. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. For people
So
who don't know what subs are. I'm
yes.
like, I just ate a sub before I got
That is so you are not fully feeling the effects of detoxing of
Yeah. It's
heroin.
definitely if it's more than a couple days, you're just hooked on subs.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess so because pause is a real thing. So
What's
after
pause?
post-acute withdrawal
Oh, yeah, yeah,
syndrome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so after 5 I think on the 5th or 6th day, I was, like, off everything, but I drank just because I was feeling not I didn't drink alcoholically, like, I had,
No,
like,
you, like,
3.
slowly detoxed, and you kind of, like,
Yeah,
washed
yeah.
into
So
being clean, yeah.
I slowly detoxed in my room by myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, you did it however you did it, but you did it, right?
Exactly, it was on my terms, and I just knew, like, this is my chance, and
Mm.
so
First time in forever, it's something that you're doing on your terms.
yes. So I knew that I'm gonna need a psychiatrist. I'm gonna need
A sponsor, a big book, and
Yeah,
meetings.
yes. So I had started going to meetings twice a day, but after 2 weeks, like, I was feeling super claustrophobic and just like, I can't be in this.
What day was it? Like, when
This
was your
was
sobriety date?
October 2nd, 2021.
Okay.
So after 2 weeks of, like, being sober, going to meetings, like, mentally, like, I was just it felt like the walls were closing in, like, I was scared of relapsing, so I was able to get into Park Place,
Mm,
and not only that, like, I didn't need to relapse to get into Park Place, because of my medical history, so I went to Park Place for a month because I needed to be I needed to be, institutionalized,
mm.
and it's funny that I got out November 15th. I started taking Vivitrol just to be on the safe side, which is naltrexone. It's an opiate blocker, so if you were to relapse, you wouldn't get high.
Booty juice. That's what I call it. 'Cause you get the shot in the booty.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So I did that, and then, I started going to meetings again, and, that Friday, the day after I'd gotten out, I remember getting a call from my now sponsor, and she said, "Hey, like, I just went to Park Place and shared my story, and this guy in there said, 'You know who you should call, like, who just left?'" It was me, because our stories were so similar, and that is how Ashley became my sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we started working the steps. I didn't wanna get a job. I knew I knew I could not get a job because I knew, like, if I was gonna get a job, it'd be, like, serving or bartending, and, like, quick money was kind of a trigger.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Let me." And as shitty as it was, we definitely struggled, my mom and um, I waited probably about a month until I had kind of, like, found my sponsor. I started working the steps,
Yeah.
and that's when I eventually got a job, and I still have that same job today. Um And I just remember,
As a bartender.
mm,
And you've been sober for how long?
a little over 4 years, so
Mm.
I think it's been 4 years and 4 months.
Yeah. People say you can't work as a bartender as an alcoholic.
I think because it's Old Town and it's definitely some interesting I'm put in a position where if the subject comes up, I am able to help people.
Yeah,
Like, I have directed people to meetings, like, I've talked about my
yeah.
experience, strength, and hope. Um
You're where God needs you to be.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and my coworkers might be spiritually sick because, they every day after work, they go to the most expensive bar and they talk shit about everyone and they're miserable
Why don't
with
they
their
just drink at
lives
the bar that they work at? It's free, ain't
because
it?
we're closed.
Oh,
Yeah. So, whereas me, like, I don't do that. I do my job well, and I'm not selfish, and it's definitely a lot of girls don't like me, but that's okay.
yeah,
It was a lesson in acceptance,
yeah.
patience, and everything else. I still don't have a relationship with my dad. Um, when I got sober, I basically just told him, like, I need space to kind of find my own way in the program.
Mhm.
And so after going through the book and realizing his program is his program and not like the AA program, I've definitely I do feel sorry for them, um, because it feels like they're a walking relapse because they're still it's still their way or the highway.
Yeah,
And, it's one of those things where
yeah.
I it's not my lane, but at the same time,
I mean, I
it
agree.
kind of it is and isn't, like, it depends.
Yeah,
Like, I've had mutual friends who have relapsed because, they went off their psych meds at the advice of them, and some people I haven't seen again. And, I think for me, I have my psych meds. I'm still on my psych meds, like, but working the program definitely has changed my life. Like, I did not think I would find inner peace. I thought that was an elusive, like, I thought it was a myth.
yeah,
I looked at people like they were crazy if, like, they were like, oh, yeah, like, I'm just gonna go home, like, and hang out by myself. I'm like, how? You're
yeah.
weird. Like, I couldn't. And today I prefer that, you know?
You're not really hanging out by yourself anymore. You're hanging out with God.
That is true.
Yeah, you're
That is
not
true.
you're not in isolation. You're in solitude.
Depending on how I use that time, yes.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, any time we could be in isolation or solitude, but I would say more so solitude now. Even if you're doing what you're quote unquote shouldn't be doing, you're still in recovery. You're still working steps, still chairing
Yeah,
meetings. You know, you're definitely on the right direction towards whatever God needs you to do in this universe. You know,
exactly.
and
So,
You know,
yeah,
it's been a journey, and I've known you for quite some time now.
pretty much almost all of it.
Yeah, I remember when you first came in.
Yeah,
Yeah, your first couple months.
the day of my 4 months
Yeah,
when my friend had, committed suicide and I was at his funeral burying him,
yeah,
that that was hard. That was when I realized, like, I that was really my first test and, like, okay, maybe I can handle anything life throws at me,
yeah.
you know?
It's funny how everybody always views it as a test or God's testing us, and like, mhm,
I think it's just because of, like, when I first got sober, I had
yeah,
reservations, and it was, like, kind of along those
yeah. We
lines.
view it like that, but is it really a test or is it just life? And I mean, it is a test to the way you're connected to God if you look at it like that. Yeah,
Well, I always say it's a lesson or a blessing.
yeah. Or the blessing in the lesson.
Yeah, like, I guess for me, like, I was so focused on sobriety and, like, I knew he was struggling because, like, we kinda shared the same plight. Um, but he didn't wanna go to meetings and, like, I was just trying to focus on my own recovery that, like, I put it to the wayside, and it wasn't until, like, a week later that I found out, like, he had committed suicide, and
Mm,
I was just talking to him not that
yeah,
long ago. And that hit, like, really close to home. It was kind of, like, all the more reason to stay in the program, and
yeah. And that's exactly why I have opened up this platform for us, because I mean, I've I'm just trying to reach as many people as possible, like we don't have to do those things and we don't have to commit suicide, or there are other ways and other methods, and it's sad for those who don't ever find it.
no, and I guess, like, I definitely sympathize because I had been there before, like, I could not see a way out, so, like,
Yeah.
I knew what he was going through, and it resonated with me,
And it sucks that you feel like you couldn't do anything, right?
and it was literally the day of my 4-month anniversary, like,
Yeah.
that I was at his funeral, and
Yeah.
there's been a couple times, like, some milestones in recovery have, like, overlapped with life on life's terms. I think, like, a year in, I finally took my first vacation without my mom
Yeah. So when
as an adult,
yeah.
and I just
That
start
was the first time when, last year?
2022.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. I did a 9-day cruise, and I loved it, and
yo, cruises are the shit.
it was a 9-day cruise, like, I don't everyone thought I was crazy,
Yeah.
and I was honestly, who I went with was, like, not we were arguing all the time, and I was like, "I can't fucking do this shit."
Yeah.
So and I've been single ever since, so I was like, "Fuck." I said, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah,
I was
fuck
like,
that shit. Fuck your couch, fuck relationships. Relationships, you've tried them, they're not gonna work for you.
N I just becau I am more than okay being with someone who can recognize their faults and are learning trying to grow
Yeah,
and taking those steps to grow, but if you're just staying the same while I'm growing, like,
you can't do that.
I
Yeah,
can't do that,
yeah,
and so, ever since then, I haven't really cared to, like, date anyone, like, I've been on dates, and then I'm just like,
and it's also hard to date, like, cause like, dating someone in the rooms too is just like
yeah, I'm just
yeah,
like, I've made my friends in the
yeah,
rooms.
that's what I'm saying, it's like, I've I'm just saying, like, it's hard to find somebody like that that's growing and is not in recovery, you know? Yeah, I get it.
I know, and then so I mean, obviously, my first year was, an emotional roller coaster because 'cause I'm trying to, like, do this thing called life sober for the first time.
Yeah. Well, I do believe, just so you know, because I'm bearing witness, right, that it is possible, right? Like you continue, to be open to it, to finding someone, like because like I found my fiance, right, and she's not in the rooms, and she has a winery in her house, but, and like she's always open to growing and getting better. So like it's not impossible. That's what I'm trying to share with you.
No, it's definitely not. I'm just not seeking it.
Yeah, I think that's whatever you're doing, it's working perfectly for you, you know? And I enjoy whenever you share it on our Tuesday meetings,
Today.
you know?
I mean, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like,
Yeah,
I think for me, like, after I swore off relationships, I I was able to cultivate
more meaningful relationships.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So instead of, like, focusing on, like, romantic relationships, I focused on, like, my best friend who has 2 girls who
yeah,
have both watched me grow up. Like, they've grown up seeing me sober. I mean, like, her first kid was a year old when I got sober, so she won't remember, but,
yeah,
like, I'm able to be an important figure in their lives, and that's very rewarding. I'm able to give back and help my mom, every day, and even though I still live with her, I don't worry about, like, where I should be for my age because right now, like, I'm helping her. She's not
yeah.
financially okay to retire at the moment, and so I'm giving back and helping her. Um, and what was it, like 2 almost 3 years? Just before my 3 years, like, my granny had, dementia, and we were taking care of her full time, and that was honestly rough. 'Cause it was a full-time job. It was me, my mom, and my aunt fully caring for her day in, day out, changing her diapers.
Yeah,
Me being that person, the voice of reason through the program and through the steps to give them the support that they need in a way that, like, they're not going fully crazy because it was a lot, like, watching someone decline like that so rapidly.
yeah.
And on the day of my 3 years, I was also at her funeral.
Mm,
And so it was bittersweet. Um, but all these things that have happened, I was able to get through it without even thinking about a drink or drugs.
yeah,
Um, and it was definitely like through my higher power, and like it helps me go closer to my higher power as well when these things happen. Um, because I do always find a lesson in it somewhere,
yeah.
and
Even in this conversation, I've learned a lot. So
I was like
that's why I love doing this because like every conversation I have with everybody, I'm just like, man, I gotta apply something to my life. Not necessarily what you're doing, but just like I thought about what you said about with your dad. I'm like, man, I gotta probably ease up on my son a little bit. Like give him a little bit more perspective and see where he's at and where he likes, so it's not always just my way or the highway.
yeah, I think well, it depends on the age as well. Like I
Well, he's
know
13 and he's a boy and he's way better than I am
yeah.
at that age. So
I think that's the hard thing. It's like, with my sister may or may not being one of us, it's not for me to say, but it's I can't control that, and my mom might have done actions that enabled her, you
yeah,
know. It's not for me to say or like just like it's just out of my control, and it's like what can I do in this situation? Like, I
yeah,
can do, like, principles before personalities, and she was very combative, and it was honestly, it was a really hard time. Like, I know she was struggling, but at the same time, like, it was hard for me to connect with her when, like, I absolutely understood where she was at, but I was trying to do the opposite of my dad. I was trying to actually, like, be there for her and show her that, like, she's not alone. I wasn't giving her ultimatums. I was just trying
yeah,
it's hard
yeah. It's hard.
because you don't know.
You don't know what to do.
No, you don't, and
Yeah,
it's realizing you have no
it's
control,
no,
and
and it sucks. I feel you. But
no matter what you say, they don't even kids, they don't have to listen,
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah,
and
but there's
it's
nothing you can do or say. It's just like they have to have it within them.
yeah, and
But
it's yeah.
but I think that's as far as we can go today. You
Yeah, it's
know,
probably a while.
but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's I definitely toned down on, like, some of the crazier stories, but I was like, "Let me just do."
No, we can have another one where you just come in and tell me all the craziest story there is.
I mean, I think watching my ex stab himself in the stomach
That was crazy.
I still